Hello, my name is Ishan, and here I'm going to tell you some basic concept about the Hive. So let's get started. So before getting into the Hive, first of all, you have to check whether whether Hadoop is started or not, right? But I believe that in my system Hadoop is not started. So strt. This command is used to start the Hadoop, right? It is starting name node and the data node, secondary name node, task tracker, job tracker. Yeah, done started. So just to check whether the all the process and the 5 daemons are up or not, you have to check type jpa, that's a java process. Yeah, done. It's all my 5 process are running up. So let's start Hive. Simply you have to type Hive, and there's other properties I already set in the in the bash rc file, so there is no need to set up again. So in case if you don't have haven't installed the Hive, so yeah, you can go ahead on my next video in which I can tell you exactly how to install the Hive and all. Now the Hive is starting. It will take few seconds more. Yeah, it's done. So this is the Hive shell, right? So the first command, let me showcase you one more thing. Today we are going to I'm going to teach you about some basic Hive commands regarding database, as well as regarding the files also. So the first command, which is used, it's like one of the most basic command just to check what database you are having. So it is a show databases. After every command you have to type the terminator. Okay, it's showing okay, and there is a one more default database. This is a database whenever you install the Hive first time, this database provided, right? You cannot use this default database. It is just as a default. There is, in fact, in the previous version you can view this database as well, and when we go ahead on the distributed file system, later on I will show it to you. But in this new version you cannot you cannot view this the default database. However, I have some couple of database over here, like some Monica student data 2 and the 3, right? So let me go ahead and create a new data. For creating a new database, you have a very simple command, that's a create database and the database name, right? And one more thing, these commands are not case sensitive. You can capitalize any of the letter or not. So however, I suggest you to go in the lower case rather than in the in the upper case. Create database, let me type in the name NASA. It's okay, done. It's created, right? So the next command, if you want to use this database, for example, if I want to use this NASA database, so it is a command use. Let me show this to you one more time. This is command, basic command use, and the database name, whatever database you have, whether it is a NASA or the student database, whatever so it is, you can use this. I use keyword, and again this is the name of the database. So just type this. Done. Now I am the NASA database. So yeah, it's done. Okay, one more thing, right? In this way I created a NASA database. If I type a command show tables, before going the table, let me tell you one more command. This command, basically whenever using a Hive, you didn't know that in which database you are, because I already have some Monica database, student data 213, and I just created a NASA database, right? And I used used NASA, but I didn't know that whether I'm in the NASA database or in the student database. So this is a command, that is set hive.cli.print current.db equal to true. When you type this command, you will it will mention that in which database you are, right? So it is not that much affect the whole process, but still it is just to memorize it on which database we are, right? So let me uh, type some command, show tables. Okay, and there is no table. That means there is it is not I mean it's not sending any of the tables, right? So because I haven't created any table. So this is a few commands, but let me tell you more about database, I mean on the data commands. So let me open up one more terminal. And excuse me for that, the system, I mean the Hive require a lot more memory and the RAM, right? So I'm using it on a virtual machine. I have two more servers running on this machine, so it might be slow, but it will work fine, right? So let me tell you more commands for the database itself. So I just covered the show database, I covered the use database and database name, I covered creation of the database. So let me tell you one more command, because whenever you're creating a database you have to mention the names as well. So I mean the whole description, what database it is and what is used for a create database for name. I'm telling it is sun, and the name comment, right? In comment I can mention it in a single code. This is sun data, comment, close, terminator. Oops, what is saying? Oh, I just uh, what the error it is. Parsing exception, creating a create data image for begin ISA input here. Oh, got it. It's done, it's created, right? So whenever you want to check, I mean what description of database it is, so you just have to type the command that describe and the database. Describe and the name of the database, that is sun. Enter. Sorry for that, might be I'm in a hurry. So it is not only showing the description that is sent there, and also it is showing the location, that where this database is located, right? And what's the username and the default user also. So this is all about I think I covered almost all the commands, right? And in fact, if you want to drop any database, let's say I want to drop this sun database, so you type the command drop, and you can say it here, and drop database and the database name. The cascade keyword is used sometime when we have some tables in it, and when we forcefully want to drop it, so that's why I have to use this cascade command. So let me drop database sun, drop. If I check show database, right, there is no sun database because I already dropped it, right? Great. So yeah, one more command. If you want to check that how many database are there which are starting with the S, you can use this command, show database like, because you can use a like operator. I'm sorry, you can use the like operator and just check how many database are there which are just started with the letter S, right? Maybe it is a student or son, whatsoever it is. It will showcase all those database. There are some basic database commands which are extensively used in the Hive, right? So let's move ahead and start with how we're going to work with the tables. So let me close this terminal because I already have. So let me close this one as well. Let's start the fresh one. A lot more scrolling will be there. In fact, the Hive, first of all, I want to tell you that Hive is not a database. So if you have any sort of confusion that I'm storing everything in the Hive, so it is not a database, it is a warehouse, and it used MySQL or the Derby or any other database just to store the 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 metadata. So it is not used for the storing all the 20 to 30 GB of data in the database. Not a database, it's a simply a data warehouse. So let's go ahead and some and focus on some the tables command. So here it is, create table name. So a fun first thing is that in Hive, in fact in the Hadoop, right, before creating any table you have to analyze what kind of data it is, right? So let me create some raw data. I'm just creating Zishan tab 10 tab 2017. So give one more name, Shan 2016. Sorry, and Joy 30, it's 2015. So it basically just about the basic database, right? And the good thing is not right now. I will explain this concept later on. So let me save it. So where I'm saving, let me go home, work, and Hadoop learning. Demo dot demo dot txt. Yeah, it's saved, right? So I analyzed that my data is basically a tab separated, right? So before creating a table or creating the schema, right, I have to analyze that what kind of data I have, because in real time you'll not get this kind of simple data where there are some basically separated by the tab or some other things. There are a couple more, it's a very complex data, in which you have to use structure arrays, right, as a data type, because it's not that much simple. And whenever you're focusing on the JSON format, right, there you have to use the it is a kind of a key value format, right? So it's not that much simple. However, in the starting point and just for the learning point, I'm just using this as simple data, right? So let's go ahead and create the table. So just creation of the table is a very simple command, create table and the table name, right? And the name, because my first name is a string, right? You can see this is a string, this is an int, and again it is an int. So let's go ahead, create table. Oops, before going, let me check I have to be in a database before getting in the table. Show data. Yes. Right. Right. So I'm using NASA. Right. I'm in the NASA database. Before let me check. Show show tables. There is no such table. Let me go ahead and create one. Create table. That's a basic simple SQL command. So in fact, no need to learn more complex one. It's completely SQL based. Create table name, student one. No, no. It's a name. It's a name or a string. You can see it also here. Right. It's a name, a string, ID, and the year. Right. So it's a name. It's a string type. As I said, there is no such like high is a completely case insensitive language, so whether you type s in a caps or in a small, it will work fine, right? Name, and my second column is id which is of integer type. Third one, uh, my year, it is also integer type. Done, it's created. So if I use show tables, it will showcase you one table, that is student one, right? So the most next task, I've just created the table by this create table command. Now I have to I have to load the data, right? So, and because you know that in Hive there is no such insert command. However, in the upcoming version, right, they are upgrading the Hive and using the the insert command, but it is not working fine. There are a lot more errors and challenges there, right? So as of now, initially, let's focus on how to load the data into that, because we have already created the tables, we have created the schema, right? So now it's time to load the database. I mean, the load the data, whatever data that is here, and that is Zishan, Joy, and the the ID and the year. So I have to load this data into the table. So it's a very beautiful command, to load this data. You have a load data local in path, and the complete the source, whatever source you have, into table and the table name. So let me go ahead and copy this whole command. Sorry. Right. So let me rename, because this is not the student record, this is student one. And in path, right, this path needs to be 100% correct. If you misplace, I mean the mistype anything here, it will your data will not load it, right? So let me correct the file name. That is demo.txt into the table student one, load data in path. So this command is basically loading the data from the local file system. So, and in many cases in real time you have the data in the HDFS. So there is a very big change in the command, right, whenever you are loading a data from the HDFS. And the big change is that you have to remove this local and just it, right? You can upload the data from the HDFS. As of now, I'm just loading the data from the local file system, that is home, Zishan, work, Hadoop learning, right? So this demo.txt is present in my local file system, so I'm uploading the data from here. So let's create loading data to the table nasa.student. It's it might take some time, but it Okay, done. So don't worry about this, the warning could not update a status, right? The thing is that whenever you are loading the data, it will shows that how many rows and some couple of information regarding the table. So if it is not showing, no worry about it. It's just a warning, just ignore it, right? So if I type select all from student1, enter, right? So the most important thing, what about this nulls? I mean, why it is showing the null column here, right? This is the most in fact a good concept regarding the nulls, because whenever we are loading the data, we haven't mentioned, because let me showcase you more. If you type city select name from student 1, now it is showing the exact data. So I hope you guys can understand that what's the problem with it. I mean, and the whole this column, I mean, and the whole this row is just taken into the string format, right? And just other two are the null, because it is not encountering any value, right? So we haven't tell the Hive that this data, that there is I mean, there is a tab. We haven't tell the Hive that there is a data, I mean, while creation of the table, right? We haven't tell that the data is a tab separated, right? That's why just taking the whole row and in just a one column, and rest two column is considering as a null, because there is no data, right? So in fact, if you want to check more, if you want to see that select id from student 1, it is showing null, right? So in fact, one more thing, as I told you, that it's a Hive is a completely it is converting all the queries into the map reduce jobs and all. But in the previous version, yes, whenever you type any query, like select all from the student, or select id from the student, it will start a map reduce job. But in this new version, a lot more updates have happened, so it is just come converting into the plain Java code, right? But the few commands in which I can I will tell you that that when the job, I mean, the when the task tracker and job tracker will get started and load the data and all, right? So that will be in the upcoming videos. So let me go ahead and create a well formatted table. So whenever you're creating a table, right, create table and record name, and you have to use you have to tell that what kind of the field separator you are using, right? There are around three field separator. It's uh, yeah, I will tell you later on about the field separators. There are different concept about it, but let me go ahead and create a very good table, so that it can give a very fair output, right? So we have to use this command, row format delimited fields terminated by tab, because my data is a tab separator. In some case, if my data is comma separated like this, that's it, that we mostly have in the CSV files, right? And then at that moment, I will tell my data is the comma separated. But as if now initially my data is a tab separator, so I'm using /t. Let me go ahead and create a new table, and we'll load the same data into it, and then you can monitor the what output I'm getting. Yeah, it's record. Let me time is student record 2. Row formatted delimited creative years delimited by it's done. Yeah, a table is created. Let me check the command show tables. There were two tables, that's a student 1 and student 2, right? Let me load the data into the student 2. It's loading the data. Excuse me. Might be take some time. It's contacting the name node and return code 1 Apache move task. What error it is? Lot more things we will learn from the errors. If you're getting an error, no need to worry. In fact, you will learn some. Fail to enable Java option. Loading data field exception. Oh, got it. Where the path is and to load data. Everything is fine. I'm just loading the data into another table. Here there is an issue. Student table, load data. Let me check. Maybe it is. I'll try one more time. Path home demo.txt and student 2. Let's see what will happen. I don't know why it's not loading the data. If it what error it is. Okay, I think it's not getting, allowing me to alter the table. It is showing you have an error in this question. Check the error that's correspond to the error. Option select this fault. I think I'm using the right table, right? So let me copy this table. Let me try one more time. Yes, there is a record. Student 2. Oh, student 2 is already having the data, so it is loaded, right? I don't know why I'm getting this exception. It's already there. This data is there. That's why I'm getting this exception. It's already loaded. I don't know why I got this exception. I mean the complete error, but data is already there. So we'll select all from student 1. Yes, great. Now done. So you can see the difference between these two commands, right? Select all from the student 2. It is giving the very desired output, but I can see I just type 2 times. I just 2 times insert the command, so it just append the whole the table, right? So it is two times it's append the whole data, right? So it's a Zishan, and again if I type one more time that the load data command, it will append one more and the duplicate records, right? So however, the main point is that when I give the whole correct command for loading the data, I mean the creating the table, right, using the field separator, that is a slash t. I'm not getting this null value because I'm just telling the Hive that what field separator I'm using, right? So now in this table, you can get uh, if you type the name, you will get only the name from this table, right? So this is how you are going to load the data and creating the table. And let me showcase you one more thing. Hadoop run faster in the when we are using a good RAM, around a 16 GB of RAM minimum, right? But in the local system, it will so local host, let's enter to the Hadoop admin, right? Go to the browse file system, home, work. There is a warehouse directory, and if you want to know that how this warehouse directory is created, so let me showcase you how this directory is created. Bit of work, hive config hive.xml and with gedit, right? There you can see local or hdf directory where I keeps the table contents. So I mentioned the whole path, and there I mentioned the the warehouse folder, right? So from here is getting created, right? And then you can see that which SQL I'm using. I'm using SQL database, and here I'm creating the connection, right? So this is all about the configuration file of the Hive. And in fact, these are all are the the properties, and no need to mug up all the property because there are around 1 lakh plus properties. So it's a separate documentation for it, right? So whenever you want to create, you can go ahead with the templates. Where am I? Yeah. So this is the warehouse directory, and whatever database you are creating, whatever database, no matter it is a NASA or whatever database you are creating, it will create a directory of it, right? I just created NASA database. It is showing nasa.db as a directory, and the tables as a file. I just created the two files, I mean the two tables. That's a student, right? No. What I said that it will create tables as a directories, right? So it's student when is a directory, and the records, and the record is a file. You can get it from here. That's a Zishan and all this uh, the relevant record. Let me go ahead and check this one. It is showing there's a demo underscore copies, and there's a what happened, just overwrite it. Right, that's why it is showing some errors. So I hope now you guys can understand that how you have to load the database, have to create the database, and to check what tables we are using, and loading the data from the local file system into the Hive tables, right? So this is the way to load the data in the tables, right? So in coming sessions, I will teach you some more concept about the Hive, right? And we are using how we can use the Flume or the HBase for the right. There are a couple more things or left in it, and how we are using the JSON format, as well as how to analyze the web.log files, right? So there are a couple more things will be there in the in the next videos. So just like my channel, subscribe it if you like this video, and thank you very much for watching. Bye.